Perfect.
That is live. Screen share time. And we're here. Everyone can see and hear me okay, yeah?
Yep, yep. I will go ahead and just mute everybody. And Alan, Malina, feel free to unmute yourselves.
Indeed. Okay, off we go. Welcome everybody for today's London Excel meetup event done virtually. We have Malina waiting in the background for her presentation on Power Query M in real life examples. Before that, I'll just go through my usual introduction to everybody to set the scene of what to expect kind of thing. In terms of things to note, it's the usual talk. We're streaming live on YouTube whilst we do this on Zoom at the same time. So welcome to everybody who's on the YouTube stream. And the link to both the Zoom event and the YouTube event are both in the meetup description. So if you wanted to access either of those now, or if you wanted them after, especially in terms of the YouTube, because that will act as a replay of this event if you miss anything or want to watch it back, the YouTube replay will be available. And I'll repeat, that link is on the event page. It's the same link that streams live. And those links, or the YouTube link, along with files that Malina has provided, and Taya will be sharing multiple times in the chat along with me, will both be provided in a follow-up email after this event as well. So once again, if you miss anything, which hopefully you don't, or if you want to watch it back, the replay link and files that Malina has shared already will be available. Just make sure you RSVP to this event to get it, because I don't send it to all X number of members we have. I'll send it to only those who have booked to attend this event. So if you want that email, make sure you do that. Usual talk again. We are just under a month away now from the Global Excel Summit, coming back in hybrid form, both live in London for the real deal, but also being done online, also with a special online day. So that is running from the 6th to the 8th of February. So real soon now. It is pretty much upon us. And if you're interested in attending either online or in person to kind of meet everybody and network and do all that shenanigans, then come and check it out. There should be a slide here with more details if you're hearing about it for the first time. So just shooting through the bullet points here, URL at the bottom, and we have a kind of voucher code of LEM, London Excel Meetup, LEM15, for 50% off any price that you decide to pay. There is a free ticket as well, and then paid for additional training or to upscale what you get, such as recordings, etc. So it's a 3-day event you get for this price, additional masterclasses, loads of presentations, stand-up comedy, CPD points, you see it where. Networking, especially if you come in person, where obviously you'll be around outside the presentations as well, when people meet and talk and drink and stuff. So go check out globalexcelsummit.com, get 15% off if you fancy lots of Excel stuff. Moving on from there, in terms of this event, our London Excel Meetup event, the only other event currently scheduled, which we don't have an in-person venue for yet, because this will be an in-person event, is that we have Pragati coming to talk about some Power BI stuff. So although we call ourselves an Excel event, naturally we do go across into the data platform and other apps that kind of integrate with Excel. So we have a Fabric talk going on. So live in person, Wednesday the 6th, all booked, just need a venue. Hopefully I'll have more events come to you soon. But I don't expect to book anything in February due to the previous slide, Global Excel Summit. But from March onwards, we'll hopefully get a regular stream of both in-person and live events. I think that is my last one. Yes, it is. Which means, Malina, hopefully if you're ready, if I stop my share and hand over the reins to yourself. Is that okay?
Okay, I'm ready. Almost, because I'm going to share my screen first.
Sure.
Then I will be totally ready. Okay, so here we go. I hope you can see it now. I just can't see it.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
can
we can.
you?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, it's strange a bit because Zoom is not sharing my own screen with me. So let me give a second, okay? Because something is not okay. And this one. Okay. Now I'm ready. So, hello everybody. My name is Malina Cierzniewska-Skweres, as you all know probably. Okay, and I'm going to talk about Power Query M in real life examples. Actually, I've got 2 examples for you because we've got only an hour, and as you know, we can talk about a lot of times. So I've got 2 examples, but practical examples, so don't worry. But before we start, I would like to say a few words about my goal for today and about some maybe technical issues. First of all, we are going to use Power Query in Excel, okay? The files for today are provided by Te on a chat, so please download them if you would like to follow along. Another thing is my goal for today. My goal is to demonstrate the practical usage of M, but it doesn't mean that we are going to write the M code and nothing else. No, because we are also use Excel and interface of Power Query. But as far as M is concerned, we are going to use, I'm going to show you some usage of lists, the M lists. So they are very powerful, and I hope you can see why. So the first thing are lists in Power Query. And about M functions, I'm going to show you some. The most important functions for me, for today, of course, are excel.workbook and list.generate. In our 2 cases, we are going to use both of them. Okay, and we are also going to write one very, very simple custom function that will be using this list.generate function. Okay, what else? We are going also to use a Power Query interface. So as I said before, it's not that we will only write the M code. So don't worry, it won't be this maybe difficult, let's say. Okay, and the last thing that we are also going to use some Excel tools, very easy tools, but very, very powerful and very useful as far as Power Query is concerned. And everything will be shown in real life examples from HR. Okay, so human resources stuff. But I hope it's okay for everybody. So let's go. So let's switch to Excel. The file I've provided, the file name is very complicated, but it contains PQ, so Power Query in real life examples. We've got 2 exercises there, as I mentioned. The first one is in the columns sheet, and the second one is in recruitment. And we are going to start from the first one, the columns sheet. This is the easier task in this case. So our goal for this exercise is to create a report illustrating the arrivals and exits indicator per month divided by countries. And the most crucial thing, in my opinion, excuse me, sorry. The most crucial thing, in my opinion, is just to see what files we are going to load into Power Query and into Excel, of course. We are going to connect to the files folder, which is also provided for you in the files on the chat. And inside this folder, we've got 7 files. These are Excel files, as you can see, and each file is for one country. So I will open Poland spreadsheet, okay, just to see what's inside. Okay, and as you can see, this file is very, very easy. It's got only one sheet, and all the worksheets are the same. Okay, the structure of them is the same. So it's got only one sheet, and inside this sheet, as you can see, we've got 3 rows we don't need, so we are going to get rid of them. And we've got a data set, actually a very, very long data set. As you can see, it's got a lot of columns. The last column is EO. I don't know, it's something like 140 columns. So very, very long, but we are not interested in all the columns and even not in all rows of this sheet. Actually, we are going to analyze only the columns that are called arrivals and exits, because we are going to analyze arrivals and exits indicators. And we are interested in this all row, okay? The 5th row in each of those files. But they are divided into months, but in a very specific way, because as you can see, the first column is the month column. It's the last day of the month. In this case, it's January. And arrivals and exits for January are the next columns, okay? The same situation is with February, March, and so on and so on. And as you can see, we also have some hidden columns, some grouped columns we are not going to analyze, but they are here in this file, okay? And that's only one file for Poland. We've got some more files, 7 actually files for 7 countries. And our goal, I will just go back to our file. We are going to create a report divided by countries, okay? And this report is going to illustrate the arrivals and exits indicator, okay, per month. So we are interested in those months as well. Okay, so maybe let's see how we can get those data into Power Query, and we are going to see the issue in this case. I hope you can see it now because of those 145 columns, but let's see how it is done in Power Query. So let's go to Power Query. So I'm going to go to data, get data from file and from folder. Okay. Now I'm going to paste the path, okay, and show the folder I'm going to import from. So files is this folder. I'm going to open it. Okay, and now we can see the content of this folder, and we are going to use transform data, not combining it as we traditionally do, but we are going to transform data. Okay, so let's give my Power Query a second. Okay, it's done. I will make it bigger for you to see better. Okay, so I've got a query that is called files, and it's okay. I will leave it like this. And as we can see, there is the content of the folder. Actually, in this case, we only need the content column and the name column. I will get rid of the rest. So I'm just selecting those 2 columns I would like to keep, right click and remove other columns. As you can see, I'm using only interface now, but that's the first time I'm going to use some M functions. The one that is called Excel.workbook, I've mentioned on my presentation. Okay, because I need to somehow extract those files. As you can see in this content column, we've got binary files, and we are going to add another column that will hold some tables that will hold the let's say insides of those binary files. Okay, so I'm going to add a column, add a custom column. So I'll go to add column menu and go to custom column. Okay, the name of the custom column doesn't matter, actually, it's only for now. But the most important thing is the field for the formula. I'm going to use the Excel workbook function, and this Excel workbook is going to retrieve the data from those Excel files. And it's the only point of this function, okay, in our case. So Excel workbook, okay, I'm going to open bracket, and I will show this function that my data are in the content column. So double click on the content column, I will close the brackets, and that's all. Okay, and as you can see, now I've got another column that is called custom, but it doesn't matter. And I don't have binaries now, but I have tables inside those cells. As I click on the right of this cell, we can see that there is only one row in the first table. The rest are the same. And we also have some more data we are going to expand from those tables. But okay, I will get rid of the content column because it's not necessary anymore. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to expand this custom column. Okay, so expand without using original column name as prefixes. Okay, and more data, a lot of data here. But again, we would like to keep the first one because it's the name of our file and the data column that holds our actual data from those files. And as well, they are here in the form of a table. So as I click on the right side of the cell, you can see at the bottom the contents of this file, and these are contents we are actually interested in. So let's keep only the third and the first and the third column and get rid of the rest. Okay. Remove other columns. Before I expand those tables, I'm going to get rid of those XLX extensions because, we don't need it in the name of the country. So just another quick thing. So replace values, and I'm going to replace XLSX with nothing. Okay. And now we are good to go. So expand. And here's the problem. First of all, we've got 145 columns to extract, but we don't need them all. But what columns do we need? Well, actually, I don't know. Because I have no idea what is the column 4, column 11, and so on and so on. Okay, I know that I need some of them, but I don't know what are they. Okay, and this is our issue. This is the issue we are going to solve using in this exercise. Okay, I will expand it just to let Power Query create the function we are going to use. Okay, so I will select all of them. I know it's not okay. I won't use them, all of them, but let's make it. So I will click OK. And oh my God, it's terrible. But that's the way it is. As you can see, each of the file of the country file is expanded here. We've got it combined, so that's very good. But we don't need all of those columns. 145 columns. But what's the most important is the functions on the formula bar that Power Query has generated during the expansion. So I will just make this formula bar bigger, but as you can see, it's not big enough because this formula is insanely huge. So we have to do something with it. But first, the formula is called table expand table column. And as you can see, it's got, maybe you can't see it now, but it's got 4 arguments here. The first one is the table we are going to work on. The function is working on the table that is held in this replaced value step. So in this step. The second argument is the column that it's going to be expanded. Okay, so I will just go back to replaced value just to show it to you. This is this column, okay, this data column. The third argument is a list. As you can see, it's a list. I will make it bigger just to be sure you can see it properly. A list of the names of the columns that we are going to expand, and they are put inside a list. Actually, their names, the string that is the name of those columns, they are put inside a list. I know that it's a list because in M, lists are held in curly brackets, okay? So it means it's a list of some strings. As I go down, somewhere here, you can see that this list ends here and the next one starts. And the next one is actually, in our case, the same as the first one. So it also has those column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on, up to column 145. And the last argument is the new names of the columns. Okay, so the third argument is a list of column names that are going to be expanded. And the fourth one is the new column names. And we are going, of course, to change both of those arguments. How can we do that? It's a very, very good question. We are going to switch to Excel now just to do some things, let's say, in Excel. And then we will use those things inside Power Query M. But let's make it easier and do it in Excel. First of all, I'm going to load my query, this files query, into Excel. So I'll go to Home, Close and Load to. I'm going to choose Pivot Table Report because I would like to have this report as a pivot table. It will be the easiest solution. And I will make it here in this existing worksheet. So I will press OK. Okay, I've got the pivot table. It's got those 145 columns, but it's not the issue now. I would like you to look at the table. It's an Excel table that I've prepared for you just to be quicker on this meeting. And I've put the names of the headers of our data from those files of the countries. I've just pasted here. I've created a column that holds a very, very simple formula. As you can see, it says that we would like to combine the word column with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 145 because these are the number of the last column. Okay, so I've created a formula that creates actually the names, the same names as Power Query uses in my query. Okay, but I'm not going to use all of them. I'm only going to use the first column, which hold the labels of our data. And we are going to use those columns that are called arrivals and exits, but they are always after the date. Okay, I did it before our meeting just to make it quicker, and I've called the new names of the columns. As you can see, one, which is of course January, underscore, and the name of the column arrivals. Arrivals is my indicator I'm going to report. And I did the same with exits, and I did the same with all the months. So as you can see, we've got 12 pairs, let's say, of those indicators. So if I have such a table, now I can get rid of the columns I don't need. So these were the columns I don't need are the columns that are empty here in this new name column. So I can sort it, for example, a simple Excel operation. I'm going to get rid of this this row, and I'm going to get rid of the rows in the end, okay? And this is what I'm going to import to Power Query, but maybe first I'm going to sort it ascending because this is something I need. Actually, only this column with the old name and the column with new name, I need them. I need only those two columns. But okay, let's import it quick into Power Query. So active cell is one of the cells in my table. So I will just go to data from table range, and this table is imported to Power Query. It is called TB columns, as you can see. It's okay. Let's leave it like this. I know what it means, so it's okay. But it's a table. It's a table. And as we said, I'm interested in this column and in this column. But they are still columns, not lists. And I will go to my files query, okay? And I hope you remember that we need here a list of column names, not a table of column names, but a list. So somehow I need to transform this these tables into a list. And the easiest trick, the easiest way to do it is to, maybe I will create a new step just to show it to you how we can do it. I will create a new step using this FX button, and I'm in this TB columns query. Okay, so I'm going to FX and my table is visible here. And as you can see, this is the name of the step with our table, change type, it's okay. But if I go to the end and open bracket and type the name of a column I'm going to change into a list, I will hit enter. As you can see, I've just did it. So I've got a list of the old columns names, okay? So the easiest way to transform a column into a list is just, in this case, of course, is just to put the column name inside a brackets. Okay, so as we know it, I would just delete the last step because I would like to have this view. I would go to my files query, and I need to select the third argument. It's very long, so I will use keyboard to make it easier. Okay, it ends somewhere here. I will just delete it, and I will tell Power Query that I'm going to use TB columns query, and remember that it's a table. Okay, this query's result is a table, so I can use the column column to convert it into a list. I will do the same with the second argument, because now we won't see any difference, okay, because we still have column 1, column 3, and so on and so on. But I don't remember the name of the column, so I will just go to TB columns, and I'm going to copy the name. It's just a new name. Okay, so I've copied it. I go back to files, and I'm going to delete the last argument. Okay, and I'm going to paste the name of the column here. So TB columns. I open a bracket, paste the new name of the column, okay, and hit enter. And as you can see, my query has definitely less columns than before. So that's nice. And their names are the way I wanted, not column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on and so on. So yeah, the job is done. Almost, of course, because we still don't need all of those information here. We only need the information from rows that are called all, and that's it, because the rest of the columns are okay. So I will just use the simple interface filter and tell Power Query that I'm interested in all rows. Okay, so that's okay. As you can see, I don't need this labels column, so I will just remove it. Yeah, and it's almost done, almost, because I'm going to unpivot those columns. Actually, all the columns except the first one. So I will just select the first one and unpivot other columns. Okay, now I've got the column called attribute, and this is my indicator, but combined with a month, and the value is okay. So I will leave it like this, but I don't like the names attribute and value, so I will just change it in my formula bar in a query. I will make it bigger just for you to see better. Okay, so instead of attribute, I would like maybe, no, it's not a good time, because first of all, I have to split this attribute columns into 2 columns. First of all, I need to extract a month from this column and the name of the indicator. So before I change any names of the columns, I'm going to split the attribute column. So right click on it. I'm doing it from the interface. It's not writing anything with them, as you can see. Okay, so split column by delimiter is okay. My delimiter is underscore. That's okay as well. So I'll just press OK and the job is done. Power Query added a step, changed type. It's almost okay, almost, because that's the time when I want to change the name of the columns. So I don't want attribute 1, but for example, month, and attribute 2, I don't know, maybe indicator or something like this. Okay, so I will delete the last step, and attribute 1, I'm going to change the name attribute 1 here in this table split column function. Okay, though the last attribute, that is also a list, as you can see, is a list of the new names of columns. Okay, so attribute 1, let's call it maybe month, and attribute 2, let's call it indicator or something like this. Okay, the change type step is okay now, so I will leave it like this. And that's it. No, that's it. Value is not a number, and I would like it to be a decimal number, actually. And now that's the time to end this exercise. So we are going to close and load to our Power Pivot. We did it. We actually have the file query imported in Power Pivot, but we don't have TB columns imported. So we are maybe not imported, but loaded into Excel. We are going to load this query as a connection only. So I will load the TB columns query. So close and load 2, and only create connection. Okay, let's press OK. We don't have any errors. That's nice. And I'm going to create the report I wanted to create. So name is the name of the country. I will just put it into rows, month into columns, indicator maybe to rows as well, and value is simple value. And the job is done. Of course, maybe we can get rid of those subtotals, because in this case, we don't need them. We also don't need the grand totals. Yes, because we don't need this grand total as well. So I will just go to design, grand totals, and off for rows and columns. Yeah, and that's it. Of course, the format, we can change the format of those indicators, but that's all. That's the goal of this exercise. So as you can see, we used an Excel table, a very simple trick to create names of columns that Power Query uses. And we are also creating new names. I did it manually. Actually, you can use formula to do it. Doesn't really matter because it's just something like a dictionary for Power Query. It's a very good solution to have such dictionary in Excel because it's very easy to change something in those dictionaries in Excel, and our Power Query updates. Of course, there are some rules, for example, that we need to have underscore and so on and so on. But, it's easier than looking at those files we are going to import and counting the columns. It's crazy. As far, of course, as we have so much columns as we have in this exercise. Okay. That's it about the first exercise. It was the easier one. I hope you liked it. I hope you can see the power of them with lists. That's the most important goal for this exercise. Okay, so maybe let's go to recruitment exercise, the next one. And here we've got some data in Excel. It's only a one Excel table. And we are going to create a report on open recruitments by months and by countries, of course. As you can see, we also have some countries. These are the same, so seven countries. We've got recruitment ID, position ID, but we are not interested in position ID actually. But the most important for us is those start and end dates. Okay, so we know that the first recruitment started in January and ended in October 2023. It was in Poland. So I would like to have a report that I will have months, so January, February, March, and so on and so on. Here I would like to have countries, so Poland, Estonia, and so on and so on. And I would like to have an information that in January, we had 3 open recruitments. In February, we had 4. In March, we had 3, and so on and so on. Okay, I think that the pivot table will be, again, the easiest way to create this report. But of course, we have to give a proper data to this pivot table. And that's the job for Power Query, of course, because now we have only start and end dates, and we would like to have a list of dates. So let's say the first recruitment, it started in January. So I would like to have still the first recruitment, but repeated 10 times. 1 for January, 2 for February, March, and so on and so on and so on until October. Okay, so we have to multiply those data just to create the pivot table report. Okay, so maybe first of all, let's import those data into Power Query. So go to data from table range. We are inside Excel, so it's easier this time. Okay, change type, I will see, no, it's not okay. As you can see, our start date and end date are date and time, and it's enough just to be dates. So I will select them, go to home, and data type should be date. I'm going to replace current type, and now I've got dates, and it is very, very good. As you can see, we inside our data, we have some null values, which means that this recruitment is still open. So what can we do about this? I think that the easiest way is just to say that they ended today. So all the time we are going to refresh our report, and the dates of those recruitments will be today's dates. Okay. I think it would be the easiest and true solution. The easiest, because we are going to replace those values now, and then we will see what then. Okay, so I'm going to use an interface, Power Query interface, to change those nulls into a date. So I will right-click on it and again replace values. Okay, I'm going to find null values and replace it with. It needs to be a date. So let's make today's date. So 20. Oh, I've got a mistake. 24. January 9th. Okay, I will press OK. Of course, I did it manually, but I'm going to change it now. But the most important is the function that Power Query generated. And in this function, I've got arguments, the value that should be found and the value it should be changed into. And I'm going to change this date I've typed manually into a function. Of course, M function. What function it will be? I will just create a new step just to make it easier for me to write. Okay, because I'm going to use today's date. Unfortunately, Power Query M doesn't have a function like Excel has today, but it's got a function called date time, local name. Let me find it. Okay, I've got it. Local date time, local name. Local now. As you can see, as I hit enter, the result of the function is today's date, but unfortunately, it's got some time information, which I do not need. So I'm going to extract only the date information from this function, okay? And I can do it with a date from function. It only has one argument, the date I'm going to, in this case, extract. Okay, so I will just put the bracket in the end, hit enter, and as you can see, the result is the one I wanted. So I will just copy it, Control C. I will cross out the custom one step. I don't need it anymore. Okay. And I will put this function instead of this date Power Query put inside this function. I will hit enter and nothing changes. So everything works just fine. As you can see, it's the second time that I was creating a technical step, I will call it, okay? So I pressed FX near the formula bar, and it generated a custom one step, which means, it's a step I'm going to write. And I use it just to test something, to test the result of my function. And as I am sure that it's okay, I've used it somehow, I can just delete the step and nothing changes. So don't be afraid, just do things like that. It's totally okay, and it can only help us. Okay, so we don't have null values here. Each recruitment has start date and an end date, so that's good. And now we are going to create a list, of course, again, a list of months. A recruitment was conducted, okay? So, for example, as far as the first one is concerned, I would like to have a list inside another cell, and this list should contain January, February, March, and so on until October, because the end date of this recruitment is October, okay? How to do that? Another technical step. another technical step. I will add one step more, and I'm going to use a list generate function to generate a list. You know, the name of the function tells us what this function does. So list generates generates lists, but in a very specific way and very advanced way, actually. As you can see, it's got 3 arguments here. The first argument is initial as function. Okay, so Power Query wants us to write a function to define the initial value. And it should be a function, something like a custom function we are going to write in a few seconds, maybe minutes. So it requires a syntax that we are going to pass some arguments inside this argument. Okay, so we need to write open bracket, close bracket, the equal sign, and the sign is greater than. Okay. Okay, I just hit escape and everything, and Power Query thinks it's an error, but just don't look at it. Okay, so this is our initial function, and let's imagine we are writing this function for the first recruitment. So it starts on the 3rd of January and ends in 12th of October. Okay, so I will just write this date using the date function just to make it easy. Okay, so 223, 1 and 3. And this is my initial value. I would like to start my list from this value. Okay, what do we have next? Condition, and it also has to be a function, as you can see. Everything should be a function here, but this function can be easier than the first one. This condition is I would call it the end of the loop. So when list generate function should stop generating the list when each of those elements the function creates. So each underscore, we need to use underscore here. It means the element of the list in this case should be less than the end date. Okay, so I will again use the date function just to make it easier, and it should be October 12th. I suppose it was 12. Okay, and we have also another argument, the next argument, which means, okay, I know where to start, I know where to end, but I don't know what should be my next element. Should it be next year? So after, for example, the 3rd of January, but 24th, or something else. Of course, we would like to have the next month. Okay, the day and the year are okay in this case, of course, but the month should be bigger than the previous element of the list. Okay, so we also have to use an each keyword, of course, and we need to use the date add months function to tell the list generate function that it should add month to the previous element. Okay, as you can see, the date add months function requires the date time from us, and of course it should be our element, so underscore again, and number of months we are going to increase this date would be 1, okay, because we would like the next month to be our next element. And I'm going to hit enter and see what we've got. We've got January, February up to October, so that's the function we wanted. But there is a problem. because I will just go to the previous step, replaced value, because as you can see, we've got some cases like this one, for example, that our end date is the 4th of October. And the recruitment started on the 6th of March. Okay, so the day of the start date is higher than the day of the end date. And let's see what happens in this case. Okay, so we've got, I will just go to our custom function. It's not a custom function, but the list generate function. And I will just try to write it. Okay, so let's say that we've started on the 13th of January and ended in 12th of October. And as you can see, in this case, October is not on our list. Why? Because the list generate function generated the 13th of October as the last argument, as the last element, sorry. But the condition is that the date should be less than 12, okay? So that's why we don't have our October on our list, but we would like to have October on our list. Hello. So what to do with this situation? Well, there are some solutions, but I think that we can use the function called date, I don't remember the name of it, end of month, date end of month, okay? And put our date inside this function, which would mean that we will always take the end of month into consideration, okay? I will just hit enter. And as you can see, we also have our October on the list. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you like it because I do. Okay, I will just copy this function because it's just the part of our solution. The easier maybe part, you will be judge of that. I will go to replace the value step. And our list generate function is okay. But as you can see, I've typed everything manually. So I've solved the first problem, but we also have much more problems to solve this way. So we need to somehow use our list generate function to all of them, okay? To each elements of our, to each row, let's say. And in my opinion, the easiest way in this case is just to write a custom function. It will be very, very easy. It will be easy because we have our list generate function written, but as we have our as we are going to write a custom function, we will just need to invoke this function, and the job will be done. So let's make a new query. So I will, for example, hit right mouse click on this queries list. I will say that I'm going to create a new query from other sources and blank query. I will call it something like fn list gen maybe, so list generating or generator or whatever. And I'm going to go to advanced editor because it's the easiest way to write custom functions. So I'm going to go to view, and here you go, advanced editor. Okay, it doesn't have anything here, so I will leave it like this, but I will add some new some rows before the let statement that was generated by Power Query. And I'm writing a custom function that and my custom function will have two arguments. The first argument is a start date, because I have to know what the start date is. And I have to know what the end date is. My arguments are called start D and end D, just to make it easier. And I'm going to pass those arguments into my custom function, okay? My custom function will be the list generate function I've copied before. So I will just put it into source step. So Control V. I've got list generate. I will try to make it bigger for you. I hope it would work. It didn't. Oh my God. Oh. But it's static. Unfortunately, it's static. So I hope you can see something. I can paste the formula, the end formula inside our chat. Okay, but we have our list generate function. We know it works. So now we have to make, tiny changes into our formula, because we need to replace this manually written dates with our arguments, start date and end date. Okay, and that's all. So I'm going to do it now. So this is my start date, and this is end date and date. Okay, and that is all. I will copy it and paste it in chat. I hope I can do it. Okay, yes. Oh my God, it's okay. So here you've got this custom function list gen. I will press done. That's everything we needed to use here. And I'm going back to my TB recruitment query. Of course, I don't need the last step, custom one, so I will just delete the step. But now I'm going to use my custom function, okay? So I would go to add column, invoke custom function. My new column, let's call it month simply, month, okay? And my function will be this function I've just written, so fn list gen. And now I'm going to pass some data to those arguments, start D and end D. And start D will be data from my start date column, okay? And end D will be data from, again, and the end date column. Oh my God. Okay, I will press OK. And as you can see, we've got a column of lists. And as I click right side of each cell, I can see the list generated for this cell. Okay, the second recruitment is, as you can see, only 5 rows because it started in April and ended in not April, sorry, in January and ended in May, and so on and so on. And as you can see, it works just fine. Okay, so now we are going to combine everything together, expand the month column. So I'm going to expand it to new rows, and everything is okay. Of course, there are some data we are not going to use here, so we can delete them, but let's leave it like this. But actually, that's all. We can change types of our columns. I think that only the month column is not okay, so I will just make it a date, and that's all. Let's close and load two. I'm going to create a pivot table report in existing worksheet somewhere here, for example, and I will just hit OK. And now we can do our report. So I'm interested in country, in month, and it has been grouped, but don't worry, we will cope with it. And let's say we would count recruitment IDs. Okay, and we don't need we don't need this grouping, so I will just, okay. You know what? It's not a good idea to change the type of our month column. I would leave it as a text or something, or this general type, because we only need those months, not to be dates, but just to be the information about the month. So in my opinion, it would be better to leave it as it was. So I will go back to Power Query. I can hit Alt F12 to go to Power Query. Okay, and the TB recruitment is the query I would like to use and to change. And I'm going to delete the last step, the step that changes the date into this month into date. Okay, close and load. Okay, and as you can see, month is okay. Is okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Let me check why. I will just make it again, do it again. Something is not working. Why? I have to check it because it shouldn't work like this. Give me a second. I will go to Power Query again, Alt F12. Okay. And I'm going to go to my recruitment TB recruitment query. And I have to find why it's not working as I wanted it to work. Just give me a second. It should be. Okay. Something is not wrong. Something is wrong. Definitely something is wrong. Because we've got too many dates. Too many dates.
Can you see the chat window, Malina? There's one or two comments in there to.
I suppose I have a solution. I think I will just look in the chat in a second, okay? Because I have to check my my solution now. Wait a second, please. Yeah, because we need to have the not the first day of the month. It will be better than those random days. Okay, that's why it has been multiplied like this. So I will go to my custom function because that's the reason. I will go to advanced editor. Okay, and my start date. I will make it the first day of the month, and I think that should solve a problem. So I will use the dates. I don't remember the names of them. Where is it? Start of month. Okay. Okay, start date, and I think it would solve our problem. I will go to recruitment. Okay, let's try it now. Close and load 2. Okay, yeah, that was the thing. Okay, it makes sense now because as you can see, I'll just make it maybe smaller and move it to right. And as you can see, we've got our month that is presented as the first day of month, and I think it's a very, very good idea. I can see that the sorting is not okay because the January of 2023 we've got in the end, but we can sort it, and it's okay. Okay, now I can go to the chat and check the solution from the chat. Alan, you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't find. I would transform it to date first and then month from date. Okay. Yeah, we can extract the month from those dates and it would solve the problem as well. Okay, I don't know whether it was the comment you meant, Alan.
There's
Comment
one or
from
two
Christian.
further up as well.
Okay, don't
There's
panic.
there's one or two like before that.
Yeah, and Claire said, always useful to see it not go to plan. It helps us when we hit the problem too. Yeah, definitely. It's not always that we have solution for everything. Sometimes we think, oh my God, we do have solution. Everything should work just fine, and we do power pivot, and it's, oh my God, what's that? So we have to cope with it, and that's the way it is. Everybody knows, everybody who uses Excel or is programming in, I don't know, Python or whatever, even VBA, knows this issue. So yeah, that's the way it is. And it's totally normal. But it is the end of my presentation, actually. That's the solution of the second exercise, which was, in my opinion, a bit more difficult than the first one. But thanks to M, we are going to solve even such, maybe, let's say, difficult problems in Excel that we have. And they are possible with Power Query. And that's all. I don't know what's the time, but I hope. Oh yeah, it's 8 p.m. So yeah, my speech was not very long. Yeah. So thank you very much. That's all from me.
Awesome, thanks, Malina. Just as always, I'm sure you're looking at the chat window. There's comments coming in. Comments of gratitude and applause.
Thank you.
Extra nice that you put that intentional mistake near the end.
Okay, let's say it was intentional.
Still planned.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dominique.
Any questions at all? I mean, make sure you check out the chat, Malina, because there's lots of nice comments coming in. But if anybody does have any questions or anything for Malina, and if there's not, we'll break into some general chat, I guess.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Wyatt, Claire. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, and especially Alan for inviting me.
LinkedIn, I do. Do you use LinkedIn much?
Thank you, Mati. Jessica, I use the Zoom It program. I will just put it on chat. Zoom It, you can download it from Microsoft. I don't remember where exactly, but you know, as you Google it, you will definitely find it. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Trolled. Trolled. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, Microsoft Store, but it's free. This app is free, so
Yeah, I use it as well.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm just, you know, I can't conduct any trainings without it. Just, you know. Christian, maybe something like maybe 8, because I'm still learning Power Query, you know, it's just like everything else, actually. You never know it all. Yeah, but I like it definitely. I even love it. Yes, I love it. I don't leave home without it. Without Zoom it, of course. Scale of 1 to 10 as a Power Query list, yeah. About loving it. Okay, so as far as loving it is concerned, it's so 10 definitely.
Yes, definitely right.
Yeah.
Again, that hybrid approach of the user interface and the M code,
Yeah.
especially when you're learning.
Nobody knows it all, maybe Alana or Ken.
Don't look at me.
Well, I know one. The person that's got a YouTube channel. His channel is called, I suppose, Bill Shish. I will just write it for you because he's Paul.
Really see, yeah.
Shish, okay, and he's Power Query Master. I also know some Power Query Masters, from my mailing list. But they don't have YouTube channels, so unfortunately I cannot share them with you. But I can share Bill. Yeah, he's a master, Power Query Master. So
How long? There's a question from Stacey. How long have you been kind of learning M code, Malina?
oh my God, very, very difficult question. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. Some years, but actually don't know
Did you
how.
start using Power Query when it first came out, Malina? Or was it a few years?
No. Something about maybe 216, 17, something like this. But not M that time, not M. Only interface that time. I started from interface, of course, and M is something like now I'm learning M because it's never-ending story. And the best way is to learn them is by trying to solve real life examples, of course.
Sure, yeah. And also because it's in your name, yeah?
Yeah. Chandip is also great. I love Chandip. He's got awesome examples. So yeah, Chandip is awesome as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counting. Bear with me. I'm just going to check the other stream.
Casey, awesome.
Looked away from YouTube and there's loads of comments.
On YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. There's some thank yous and stuff on there as well, which I don't know if you see the YouTube, you may not see.
I don't have YouTube open.
Yeah, there's a few people saying thank you on there as well. Yep, I'll try and bring some more Power Query matches. Bear with me, teams. Chat amongst yourselves.
Wow, there are a lot of people on YouTube. Hello. Adam, dziękujemy bardzo. Thank you.
Since the full
Just bringing out the Schreiber. All right, team. If that is everything, I'll close down the YouTube stream. So for everyone on YouTube, thank you for your time. We'll close that now.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Replay will be available there. That is